Wow, I am 37 weeks pregnant today, guys, and that means that I'm technically considered full term now. And I know that that's a bit confusing because actually 39 weeks is truly full term, but if the baby was born at 37 weeks, it would not be considered premature, and they call it early term. So to me, that's a huge milestone to get to 37 weeks, and I can't believe that I only have 3 weeks left until my due date. So here's what's been going on for me this week. I feel like I've returned back to the first trimester in some ways. Thankfully, I don't feel nauseous or anything like that, but what I mean is I just feel like I want to sleep 24/7. Like I want to sleep all night, and then I wake up and, I'm up for like an hour, and then I want to go right back to sleep. And I'm not doing that, but that's how I feel. I just feel so sluggish, and the only thing I have to compare it to is that fatigue that you experience in the first trimester. For those of you who are also in month 9 of pregnancy, are you tired? Are you exhausted? Like, just finding it difficult to do anything during the day? Or let me know if that's normal or if that's just me. So yeah, I feel really exhausted. And then other than that, I feel like my body is changing. That feels weird to say too, because I felt last week like my belly was huge. But this week I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting bigger. I feel like I'm more cumbersome. Like when I walk around, when I sit down, stand up, I just feel like I can't function because my belly is so huge. And especially sleeping is the worst when you're lying down flat and trying to get comfortable. If I lay down on my side, then the side of my belly touches the bed and the baby starts like kicking. It's like she's like, oh, I don't want you to be there. And so I can like feel the bed and the baby like sort of touching, and I don't know how to explain it, but that's not comfortable. I can't sleep on my back because you're not allowed to sleep on your back. Rolling over, it like hurts my belly somehow. I don't know if it's pulling tendons or what, but it's really painful to roll over when you're in bed. And then besides that, the other thing I've noticed is that my breasts are definitely gearing up for breastfeeding. It's something throughout the pregnancy I haven't really experienced a ton of discomfort in that region or anything, but definitely as we get into these last weeks, it's like my body is like, okay, you're getting ready to do this, let's amp this up. So what I mean is I'm having more soreness, and I feel like they're bigger, like growing, and just whenever I see myself in the mirror, I think, yep, I'm getting ready to breastfeed a baby. Like my body knows, and it's like kicking into action. So So yeah, I definitely feel like my body is at the end of a pregnancy, and it just feels huge, it feels painful, and I'm finally to the point now where I'm ready for the pregnancy to be over. I think everybody gets to that point. At some point in the pregnancy, you feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore, let's just have this baby. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that I'm at term now, and I know that if she were to be born, she would most likely thrive and be totally fine. So it helps along with that feeling of like, okay, this baby can come out, like knowing that she's okay, and that she's big enough and probably mature enough and everything. It just adds to that feeling of wanting her to be born. So other than that, I have been continuing to have my non-stress tests, which are now happening twice a week. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and so that's just a routine thing they do to keep an eye on the baby, make sure that the baby is still thriving in there. They want to make sure that, the placenta is not deteriorating and the baby's still getting oxygen and everything that it needs. And so far, my non-stress tests have been beautiful, and my doctor is so pleased with how my pregnancy is progressing that I got great news at my last appointment just a couple days ago. She said that she is going to let me go till my due date. Which I have not been expecting that this whole time, because, standard protocol for diabetics is to induce, and usually an induction happens at 39 weeks. Like if you're lucky, like a good pregnancy, you're induced at 39 weeks. Some people can even go sooner than that, depending on what your doctors feel you should do. So I was really happy to get the news, like, yeah, let's set an induction date for your due date. which is basically where we're at in terms of delivery. So that means that it gives me more time to go into labor naturally, because obviously that's my preference. Well, really my preference is to have a baby, and so however that happens, I'm going to accept, and I'm going to be fine with it. I don't want to get attached to any one particular idea of labor, because I know that labor is unpredictable and it can go in so many different directions, that like ultimately I'm focused on the fact that I want to have a baby. But that being said, if I had a choice, I would obviously prefer to go into labor naturally rather than being induced, for a variety of reasons. So that does give me an extra week to see if maybe my body will go into labor naturally. I won't need to be induced. And the other thing it does is if I do need to be induced when I get to my due date, my body will be more ready for the induction, hopefully. So that means that it's more likely that the induction would be successful. So that was really good news, and also for the sake that the baby can really finish growing. Like, you know, I feel like she's not going to be taken out too soon, and we'll have enough time in there to really be ready when she comes out. So that was really good news. And yeah, so with the medical side of pregnancy, it has gone so smoothly, and it continues to go smoothly to this point, and for that I am so grateful. The last thing I want to mention in this update, because it's been a little different for me, and I think it has to do with just being in my last month of pregnancy. Again, for those of you who are also in your last month of pregnancy, let me know if this has happened to you. But the emotions, and I've mentioned the emotions a couple times, like in my last few updates, but I just feel so emotional. Like, I feel so overwhelmed in a way that this huge life event is going to happen to me so soon. And it's been my dream to, you know, have a baby, and now it's happening, and it's actually going to happen. And just that reality is so big and, you know, grand. It's like probably going to be the biggest day of my life. That just anticipating that is so overwhelming. And I don't know how to explain it. I'm not having anxiety. I'm not feeling negative. I'm not feeling sad or like, oh, I can't do it. It's not like that. It's just I'm overwhelmed with feelings right now. Like, oh my gosh, it's about to happen. And the next thing on like the list of things to do for pregnancy is labor and delivery. Like, I have nothing else in front of me. The next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to meet my baby, which has been my dream, you know? So just knowing that that's so close to happening, I can't even handle it. I'm just an emotional wreck, and I'm so excited to meet her, but I'm also just absolutely overwhelmed at the same time. So let me know if any of you can relate to that feeling. Okay, so I think that's it for this week's update, and I'm going to go ahead and end with my 37-week belly shot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of the support that I've gotten on YouTube. There's a lot of you who I see regularly commenting, and I know you. I feel like we're almost friends, you know, and I recognize you. And it's always great to hear from people and keep up with you week to week. So that's been really fun for me, and I really appreciate how much you've supported me. Some of the comments, you guys are just so nice, and it's really nice for me to see that stuff. So thank you. So until next week, I hope, as always, you guys are having a great week, and yeah, I guess we're at a point where I assume I'll see you for my 38-week update, but I guess the baby could come at any time, so we'll see. Each week is going to be exciting for all of us. Like, am I going to make it another week? Am I going to make it? So yeah, assuming that baby decides to stay in there, I will see you all next week for my 38-week update. Bye.